When should you hire at scale? I probably think you should hire before you need to. This can be a little bit of risk. It's a bit of an investment to say I'm going to hire maybe even before the project's signed. But I think it's actually better to be prepared, or at least have a plan for how, if a project gets signed, if an engagement gets signed, how are you going to fulfill on that engagement? Because ultimately that's all a service company is here to do, is to fulfill on their commitments through the contract that the prospect signed with the services firm. And I think that means that you need to be prepared to have a workforce that is not only hired, but is trained, onboarded, tuned to be able to execute you really, really well for these contracts that are signed. Now, you might be bringing those people on as FTEs, full-time employees, or you might have a good contract network. This is really popular, again, in the construction engineering space, where they'll have a whole suite of vendors they work with or subcontractors they work with. And that's really nice because you can find ways to flex by pulling in different subcontractors. If you're thinking about hiring for FTEs, for internal employees, I would say be thinking 3 to 6 months ahead, right? We think that we're going to have these prospects of these other jobs coming in. Start that recruitment process where you're out, taking that inventory of everybody you've talked to recently at a recruiting event or a trade show or whatever. Look through that list, figure out where they're at, figure out maybe you need to grab coffee with them again or catch up with them again, see what they're working on, and start to plant the seeds of opportunities at your company. I think that's a big piece, but I would say do it sooner than you think you need to do it, because ultimately we see a lot of people go, I just signed the contract, I don't have the people to fulfill it. Then you're asking your client, your brand new client potentially, or maybe an existing recurring client, hey, I just need you to be patient to wait for me, which is a hard thing to swallow. So probably before you need to.